Hey, all right, we're going. Yo, this is Big Bear Berg at the Boneyard, baby. We got my guest here, JRAYE, best infantryman I know. I'm gonna let him introduce himself here now. Take the floor, baby. Welcome in, Fools. Yeah, man. So, heck yeah. You guys already remember me from last week, but if you don't know, name's Big Bear Berg again. Um, Story of the day, or topic of the day, we're going to be talking about Foxhole. We're just going to be going over some things we'd like to see change, some things we love in the game already, just general notes, and we're just going to be hanging out here for a few hours, guys. Feel free to put some questions in the chat here, and yeah, let's just get into it. So the first question I always like to ask all my guests on the channel is, what is the number one thing you would, or things, number one thing you would like to get changed, and things you would like to get changed? Mm-hmm. Uh, I don't think there's a person that has been playing for a while that has not felt what you're talking about right now. Meaning, when you go to a front that's busy and there's a 20-man queue, you ain't joking. You might be there for 2 hours, and it really sucks. Um, that being said, I know right now they have quote unquote a fun meter in the game, meaning they will have, like, if there's 30 wardens in the hex, there can only be X amount of colonials. And I think one of the easiest ways right now that could possibly be a fix, and I don't know the outcome of it, but revert it back to before the fun meter was added, where there's a maximum pop on either side, and until that maximum pop was hit, let's say it's 100 players per hex, have that pop be hit and then start a queue. If that's the case, then the queue is actually full, the server's at its max. But I know for a fact right now there are times when there are queues in hex, it's due more to a fun meter mechanic than it is the actual servers being at their um, maximum potential. And I think that's the biggest thing right now biggest thing that's going on right now. And you're not joking. It kills fronts. You lose fronts, and it does suck. Is it even? Think of the new players. Like how they feel. You're a vet. Like,
50 minutes into it, and I was like, wasn't for me. And this game sat in my Steam library for years until 2021, where I was like, oh, I have no hours in this game. Let's pick it up. Let's give it a shot. And now I play it every day.
yeah, for sure. And I think the game does that to people. I think once they actually give it the fair chance it deserves, I think it really sucks people in, especially people that like role playing, or just war games in general. I think it has a very unique setting in war games, being a top down version. I don't know many games that have that mechanic in it. that are this successful. And I think it really is one of the shining aspects of Foxhole is that top down. You're running through the field and then you see your buddy get blasted by a 40 mil right to the face and you're freaking out, like, bayonet someone, like, after that. Like, it definitely sucks people in. But again, I think it also really hurts when they can't get in the game or the fun parts.
Yeah, right. Getting to that step can be an issue. But like you said, you're not wrong though. It is truly a unique game. There's not a lot of things out like I guess a comparison, Hell Let Loose, but just from the above view.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I could. Hell Let Loose is a good representation of the war, but I don't think in Hell Let Loose it extracts the multitude of a real community driven thing. There's certain limitations, and in Hell Let Loose you're not going to get 5 battle tanks pulling up to steamroll your base, and there's no digging and trench. Like, it's a set map. Like Foxhole, hey, you're good, Mason. Foxhole delivers such a different flavor of game, because it's all community. You compared it to Foxhole or to Hell Let Loose, and I agree with you in the craziness of it, but the only thing I can't agree with is how the community owns it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I can't.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Two vastly different community. Night and day. I can only the Foxhole community. That's definitely one of the better parts of the game. For the most part, people are really cool. If you're a new player and you have a question, you can go up to a high-ranking official and ask them a question, and if they're not a jerk, they're going to answer you.
Yeah.
More than likely, they will.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you're a warden, whether you're a colonial, like, people are pretty cool. And if you have genuine curiosity, people will explain things to you. So just have patience. Worst comes to worst, you find somebody you don't like, just mute them.
Yeah. That being said, I was just thinking about another way to address the problem with quote unquote Foxhole servers or hexes is maybe instead of the pinging system they have now where it's like need reinforcements and it just blinks right at the homepage, maybe they could give like a prompt. Like the best way to put it and the best way I can describe it is have a prompt at each home base on like critical structures. So like let's give an example of where we were last night at I can't remember where we were last night. Foundry. So let's go with the Foundry. Let's say when we captured it and we took it, and I know you were offline at the point, but maybe if they had the Foundry was getting hit, they always say that label of the Foundry is taking damage. What would be cool, I think, is if the home region had like theoretically a board or a quote unquote page where you could go see the criticalness of said building. Like you could go it could get abused, but theoretically a place where everyone could vote, say, hey, we need troops here now, and have a global like colonial or warden, saying like, hey, this place needs reinforcements at the homepage, and make sure everyone at the home region knows like, hey, this place is getting hammered. Because a lot of people ask for QRF or help, and maybe that could help with queues. Is like, everyone sees the D-Day landing, but somewhere's not getting QRF'd. Make essentially a warning system at home of what really needs to be addressed, or maybe an attack order gets dropped on by, you know, voted on, like what attack order needs to happen for the hex, like the colonials as a whole. And what I'm kind of getting at is like, and I'm stealing this from Helldivers, because with Helldivers they give global orders for all the Helldivers, right? And so my idea here is the colonials would have quote unquote a game master or a voting system that's every, and I don't know how they'd implement this or how they would implement or do it, but essentially have it to be where we need to attack this hex, and then everyone votes on it, and then it's the operation of the day, like it's the operation of the colonials to get said objectives done, and kind of just give more of a structured environment for us to push together instead of trying to be these individual Reggies, you know, start kind of fighting as a real faction, you know, instead of regiments just holding down one lane or whatever. And that way you could also spread player bases out. And that's how I think it could help with queues and stuff, is set multiple objectives. You know, with Helldivers, you have the Terminids, the Automatons, and usually there's a global event happening where there's a counter push here, defense needs to be struck on these hexes, and then you would have, like, you know, kind of set it like an attack defense type thing. What do you kind of think about that? You know, what can you see picked apart, or, you know, something that could be done with that?
I really liked it, honestly. That was a good idea. I think a little bit of more direction would be beneficial. People kind of don't really have any idea what they're doing. They're logging in, assuming they don't get stuck in a queue for 30 minutes. They're like, cool, now where do I go? What do I do? It's like, if we had maybe a better direction of telling people, hey, we maybe need help here. I think there's like a kind of sort of thing that does it. Like, I don't understand the mechanics behind it, but every now and then you'll try to enter an area and it'll say reinforcements needed. Do you know what causes that?
Sorry, I accidentally muted. Yeah, that was what I was talking about, is kind of a better version of that. You know, and I think that's the fun meter I was talking about, where it's like there's so many wardens or so many colonials in hex. When it's saying reinforcements acquired, that means there's probably an enemy presence that's getting queued up at that other border, or there's an influx of wardens to colonials or influx of colonials to wardens in said hex. And so it's asking for you to reinforce that area to kind of equal out the game, or you know what I'm saying. It's kind of asking you to equal out the player base so both sides can get more enjoyment. But yeah, I think a global prompt. Hey, Olfen. Oh, thanks for the hydrate. Oh, that's not good. I only have one drink here.
What's up?
I don't have a hydrate around me. I'll hydrate.
I'll hydrate for you. Okay. Fool of a took.
I'll have to get water after this, but it'll be all right.
No worries.
I'll get that after. Oh well, I got this. That'll work. I'll do this as a chaser. Hey Onyx, welcome in. Yeah, so I think that'd be a really cool mechanic though. And I think it would really help new players get engaged and kind of give them a focus. Just instead of this whole monotony of like having to join a regiment and then the regiments plan everything out, and it's like, I don't know who would give these prompts or if they'd be voted on, but I really like that idea.
It's not opposed. Definitely more uniformity, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it would only help both sides, you know, and you could still do what you wished. But I think it would help both sides, you know, kind of get a uniformed effort. And it would also, you know, kind of give the what's critical and what's not to be held or to be pushed, or what, it would give more structure to how things were built and how logi lines were structured, and how quote unquote positioning would be done in the hexes, and in the hexes. You would strive to push, kind of that old school, need to take this flank to hit this, and then we'll cut here or whatever, and kind of do something like that. But I mean, I won't beat a dead horse. Is there anything else you'd like to see added in the game?
Is probably climbing mechanics. I would like to see a little bit better. I think you need to be as straight as humanly possible when you're trying to exit either a hole in the ground or some type of bunker. And I don't know, maybe just open up that gap just a little bit, make it just so that you can jump out a little bit easier.
Oh, okay. So the vaulting mechanic, jump out of a trench or whatever when you're having to space bar on a stupid trench to get out of it. Is that what you're kind of,
Yeah, there's a lot of things I find myself unable to space bar out of.
Yeah, okay.
Oddly enough.
Things
I feel like I should be able to space bar out of.
That does bring up a really cool idea, though.
What?
Do you think it would break the game to be able to vault on top of your friends to get to a better position?
I wanted to do that recently. Yeah, probably. I don't think
that'd break the game.
Any benefit to the game. It'd be a fun mechanic, but
yeah, I think
we already have people. We already have people where they shouldn't be. So let's not exacerbate the.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Just when you said that, I thought squad. Where people would crouch down and jump up, get over the huge walls and stuff. But yeah, no, what's that? Oh, yeah.
I was thinking Last of Us.
Yeah.
Either way, same thing.
I think some quality of life in the movement. That being said, do you think shadow dancing should be a mechanic in the game still?
It's a great question. I'm gonna give you a biased answer of no, because I can't hit them. It's really hard.
No, because I cannot do them. Yeah, that's funny. No,
yeah, I can't. I can't. I honestly, I don't even like. I play the game every day. If I wanted to, I suppose I could learn it, but no interest.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Maybe I couldn't learn it. Maybe I have more confidence in myself than I should, but
it's not hard.
It boggles my mind to see people move like that.
I think it kind of breaks the immersion, in my opinion. I think it breaks the immersion of the game a lot. Now, that being said, though, that would also really affect how mammon rushes were done, sticky grenade rushes, flask rushes. All of those things would get altered as well. You'd have to be the true Russian army. You pick one lane, and that's your quickest point to said point. You know what I mean? Like, straight line is the quickest way to one point. So,
absolutely.
You don't get the, I won't make that noise again. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, man. I think that would. I think shadow dancing. I think inertia in the game would bring a lot more realism and a lot more enjoyable experiences. Because, I mean, I was playing with Pingu last night, and I had the shadow dance Warden King from V-Clan. I don't even know his name, but I knew he was from V-Clan, and he was really good at shadow dancing. And he came up on us, and there was 3 infantry protecting us on our push gun. He mopped all 3 of those dudes. Boop, boop, boop. No problem.
Yeah.
And then bayonet Pingu, and I had a pitch gun, thank God, and I literally clipped him, and that's the only reason he died. Is one of my bullets managed to spray him with the full wide cone, barely, and it's like, one guy should not be smoking 4 dudes charging at him with a bayonet and like, nah.
Say what you will about it morally, but it is effective. It's clearly it gets shit done.
I can't hate on it. It's a skilled thing, and I'm not good at it. Katara is my favorite gun for a reason. I like to mow people down with accuracy of volume. But the other half of it...
What's your favorite gun?
What's that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your
favorite gun.
Katara's your favorite gun?
100%, dude. That dinner plate, baby, it skills so fast, dude. I love that gun so much. Oh, it's really strong. Also, I'm kind of shocked they still haven't added a Warden variant to the light machine gun. You know, and I don't know if the balance is we get that and they get the ATR. If that's where metal sheet, Ducky, that was a funny clip. He got a clip of me. That's funny. I don't know if that's where that's supposed to be, you know, because in my eyes, you're supposed to have the Typhoon to the ATR, but realistically, like, I think it's supposed to be the Katara to the ATR, and that's kind of the infantry held, you know, big gun, quote unquote. So, I don't know. I would like to see a Warden light machine gun. I think that'd be really cool, and I think that's something they're missing from their kit that would really help them in infantry gameplay, because I mean the only guns you really see out of Wardens in my eyes is Blake Rowe, Sampo, Fiddler, and the Ratcatcher, the machine gun. Other than that, like
low cast.
I mean low caster at the beginning because that's what they have to, but and it's the cheapest rifle budget or whatever. But a lot of people I heard don't like it.
Honestly, so you mentioned your favorite weapon. That's my favorite weapon.
The Loudcaster's your favorite weapon. Wow. Okay.
I know. So it comes with conditions, though. So I'm not going to use it at night because it is horrendously... Not that... you don't have a lot of vision at night, so people are running up at you. And I don't want to be using a bolt action. And but during daytime, its range, power, I think, is a little bit better than the Argenti. So...
Yeah. No, I mean, I every time I've used it, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a jerk, dude. I like getting up in the AI tower with like 20 magazines, and I'm not gonna lie, the Loudcaster, man, you can hit some shots with that bad boy, man. I mean, I'll sit there for like 20 minutes just shooting the same lane, you know. But it's got that range on it. It's got, I do agree. I think when you hit with that, I don't think there's a chance for a 3-tap like the Argenti. I think it's always bang, bang, you were done, you know. I'd like to see that. I would also like to see, since we're kind of getting into infantry weapons and stuff, I think it'd be really cool to see a new submachine gun for the Collies. I think that'd be really cool to see. You know, because they have the Fiddler and the Lyre. I think it'd be really cool to see like a Sten. You know what I'm talking about? World War II British rifle or sub. You know, something like that, or maybe a We already kind of got the Thompson with the. Hear me out. Hear me out. An 8mm.
What's up?
An 8mm submachine gun that takes the pistol mags, and I don't know how they'd make it look good, but a big old drum mag 8mm, you know, so there's actually a reason to MPF pistol mags. So I don't know why that's a thing still. You can still MPF pistol mags, which I've never seen a front. Have you ever seen a front not have pistol mags?
Yeah, boy.
Never.
Always.
There's always thousands.
Never. We're never struggling for pistol mags. That's
you know
one
what
thing.
I mean?
Thank God.
But you can MPF them for. I mean, you could make them in factories, like crates of pistol mags. You know what I mean? So it's like you get 60 a crate, I think, or some ridiculous number.
I've seen fronts with like 20,000.
What?
Pistol mags.
20K pistol mags? Oh
yeah.
My word!
That's been a thing. Absolutely. That has existed.
I'm gonna see. So you can MPF them. You get a crate of 40 for 40 BMATs. That's insane.
That's
You can get
a
40
little bit.
8 mil pistol mags. I guess the only reason that you can do that, the Wardens do have the second pistol, which is the
3-round burst.
the burst one. So I don't know if I see that's like a meta that Wardens are going out using the pistols, but I guess that's the reason they have them to where they can be made. But you've played Warden, have you not?
It's been a minute, but I don't remember using the 3-round burst pistol. Honestly, nor do I feel like I get killed very often by the 3-round burst pistol. But I could be wrong.
Now, if you have anything else on suggestions, what else would you have?
Let's see. So I got the Qs. I got the climbing. What else? Well, it's kind of, as a colonial, I would love to see another use. We were talking about weapons. The Lunaire, maybe make a explode on impact
So
variant.
would this be like Okay, well, I got two questions with that then. Would it be more of an AT or an HE use? And then also, would you let the Wardens use it with their grenade launcher rifle thing? Because if you make it a Lanier thing only, you're only buffing collies with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can kind of get where you're going because it kind of really sucks to try to hit any armor with Lanier. So I guess I wanted some clarification on what you were wanting with it.
Absolutely, yeah. We can give both teams. I wouldn't want to leave one team out. Both teams would be able to use it. They can use it with whatever what's the thing called?
I don't know what the actual name of their. I'm gonna look it up on the wiki real quick. It's a attachment on their rifles.
I don't remember the name of it either. I know it exists.
It's called the Offspray or the Osprey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Osprey.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, so what would be your suggestion? What would be the purpose of this rifle or the impact nade? Would this be a shrapnel thing, an HE, a gas, anti-tank? What are you thinking with that?
What is the Tremola?
Tremola is an HE. It's a delayed HE or delayed fuse HE grenade.
I guess leave it HE.
Well, I could see it being a little. I mean, I wouldn't see any use for the actual Tremola then. You know what I mean? Because if you could just direct HE it, I would assume you'd have to make it like an AT because I kind of feel like that's where it'd be the best use. Is like an anti-tank rifle grenade kind of thing. I could see that actually being really strong too, or really effective.
I'm not opposed to an anti-tank variant.
I wonder if they had anti-tank grenades. Grenade.
AT shrapnel. Gotcha.
I mean, that's kind of the RPG rocket propelled grenade. I typed that in. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Hey, sis, I'm streaming, dude.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Well, hey, thanks. It's your world. I'm just living in it. Yep. Thanks. Love you, sis. Say hi, guys. You're going on YouTube too. Well, thanks. She actually got my dinner plate, so I'm not mad at her. Whatever.
Yeah, boy.
I wasn't honest.
So I don't know. I'm trying to find a real life applicant to it.
Hello there.
And the best thing I can find is kind of their Osprey that goes to the M1 Garand in World War II. So I'm trying to think.
I wonder.
Oh, hell yeah. No, and it's kind of Korea War though. There were a bunch of different anti-tank grenades that could be shot off of a grenade launcher platform out of that little China Lake, you know? And that would actually be a cool implementation. You know what the China Lake is?
Maybe if I saw it.
China Lake. So everyone knows what you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me stream my screen real quick. This is what the China Lake looks like. You know,
that thing.
The pump action grenade launcher. And
yes.
Down here, I saw there's a bunch of different ammo types for it too. So, maybe just alter the Lanier to be the China Lake and be able to shoot multiple rounds. That'd be kind of interesting.
That'd be sick. I think that's the best alternative. That's the better option.
Pump action 40 mil. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Get that China Lake, and that way you could have, with the Grenadier uniform, you could kind of preload like 2 or 3 grenades. Boom, boom. Have a really low reload time on the pump, but then have the actual reload of the grenades in the gun. Like, have a preload of it that shoots decently fast. But then when you have to actually reload the gun, have a really long reload speed, because then you got to balance that out. Because that would be really strong. But the other half, that would give the Collies another anti-tank option. And I think it could also give... I think if you did that, don't give Wardens the option to get the AP HE variant, but give them the option of, like, a shrapnel variant for their Osprey. That way everyone's getting a new slice, but then you're also kind of balancing the flask, and then you could leave the Igni where it is, the cheap Ignifist, but then you actually have... Because we produce Laniers at a good rate all the time. So if you gave us a Lanier anti-tank variant, you're giving the Collies more use for what they already have, and you're not having to add more code other than the round itself. So actually, all in all, that is a great idea. And I'm sorry, I had to just kind of get a formulated plan on how to talk to the devs about it. But yeah, it's a cool idea, dude. Actually, that'd be really sick.
I think we hit something.
we have struck gold. That'd be really cool.
I'm not opposed.
And the thing is, I would want it to be really minuscule though, on the damage of HE it does. Because if it did super high HE damage, you would lose the benefit of trying to look something up too. Busy man. I'm trying to get all the info for you. I need on Joe Rogan's podcast, how he's got that Jamie guy that does all of his like Googles and stuff. I need to hire one of those so I could just have an info man, I'm getting there, guys. We're moving. I guess the other question is, unless you're ready to move on, is there anything else you'd like to see changed, or maybe another spot that you see an imbalance or a gap that could really be a cool add-on? Because I have one when you're done with everything.
Honestly, nothing comes to my head, so what's yours? I'm
Something
sure there are, I just can't think of it.
I really want to see in the game. I want to see a 40 mil round smoke. I want to see a smoke 40 mil. That would allow two things to happen.
A large scale smoke grenade.
Well, yeah, so like, or a farther range smoke nade that we can, if you could put that in a falchion, and let's say that you're getting your shit absolutely smacked on the front, right? And like tanks are hitting you or whatever. What I would like to see is either them add a smoke screen to the tanks, to where the little, like, they'd pop the smokes out and create a smoke screen in front of themselves. That I could see being overpowered. So the reason I said the smoke round is if they're getting hit by a tank, right? Shoot that spot that, or, say an EAT. EATs are really strong. Beats are really strong. And the way World War II they would get around really strong in placement stuff like that is they'd send smoke in their face so they couldn't see. So I'd want a falchion that could pump a smoke round in an EAT's face to be able, and I don't think it'd be that hard to add a smoke plume off of one, tank round, and, give it a limit of like, 5 per tank, but a smoke round in tanks, I think, would be really, appreciate it. I think it'd be really strong. And I don't think it'd be that overpowered. I think it would give a lot of life and spice to tank gameplay. And even at that, like, maybe your buddy's getting, there's a lot of things you could do with it. Maybe you're getting hit a lot, or you're tracked or something, and if you put that smoke in front, they might miss their shot on you. They might, do a bunch of different stuff. So it would add a lot more evolution to tank gameplay. And then here's the spot that's controversial that I think is going to piss a lot of people off. Every tank should have an engineer seat / loader seat. Everything above half tracks. So, like, and scout tank stuff, whatever. But, like, when it gets to light tanks on, you know how in the battle tanks they have an engineer slot? The gunner doesn't load the gun. The loader engineer does. Every tank should have an engineer loader. And I think that would add a massive benefit to tank gameplay. It'd make it more immersive. And it'd make tanks more not so I can just go solo LARP a tank. I think that's any solo tanker, I think that's crap. I think you should have at least a minimum of 3. 1 tank loader, 1 gunner, 1 driver. Minimum tank crew.
Absolutely.
I think that would...
You're already doing yourself a disservice if you don't have a commander, because that's a pretty...
Exactly.
integral. So,
if you wanted to have, to do it like, they are now where they're cheesing it, have one hop between engineer, whatever, and then the commander, but... When you're in the heat of battle, you're going to want a 4-man tank crew because you want a loader, a gunner, a driver, and a commander. So I think those would be really, really cool additions to the game. And I don't think it'd be... Again, I'm only asking for stuff that is already in the game. Like the smoke mechanic's already in the game. They would only have to add, essentially... a smoke grenade that I could shoot at hypersonic speeds. Not hypersonic, but, you can only throw a smoke right now or shoot one out of a Lunaire. Let it just, it'd be a smoke grenade that, it wouldn't be that hard. And then as for the engineer, you'd have to kind of recode all the other tanks, but at the same time, like, that's already in the game as well because they have that in all the BT variants. Like, the super heavies and the BTs already have an engineer slot. But again, I'm not trying to make it like a realistic game, but I am trying to make it a more immersive gameplay. Do you like my wallpaper, guys? I think that'd be really cool, though.
definitely be more immersive and more realistic. And it would. I'm sure people wouldn't like it because that's adding another person to the tank crew.
You know, but
Finding
again,
another
I
person to
think
do it.
I think tanks right now are so like I don't want tanks to be rare. That's not what I'm getting at. But I think a tank should be a legitimate threat on the front, and I think they should be more of a challenge other than just get two dudes in there and go, clink front lines, and whoever has more tanks on the front wins. I want it to be more of a, you know, I want it to be more of a skill gap, if that makes sense. Like if you have a really good, really thorough tank team that's really good on the loader, really good on the comms, they're going to be more effective than the 3-man team or the 2-man team trying to operate that tank. I think that's the way it should be. I think you should have veteran tanks. I think there should be a skill gap in tanks, not such a we have the better tanks and we have the more tanks. I think if you slimmed it down to less tanks on the front but more effective ones, I think that would be better for everyone's gameplay. I think
I guess you make it a little bit more difficult, but at the same time.
I don't think it's right. You would never, unless they were in the absolute worst of situations, you would never see less than 3 men in a tank. Like, it's unheard of. That's just not. I don't know of any 2-man tanks.
Rough time.
I mean, you had to have been penned by another tank, and one of your buddies is dead in the tank with you. If you had, you know what I'm saying? Like, Fury. You ever watch the beginning of Fury, the movie?
Yeah.
When he's like, hey, grab a bucket of water and some from the soup kitchen, go clean them up, and he starts scrubbing the tank and stuff. And it's like, yeah, dude, like. All right. And then my last bit that I have written down for my suggestions to be added. So,
What's up?
The flask has a 100% chance to track if it hits the track, right?
Certainly.
What I think would be really cool, and they can implement this in a lot of different ways, but what I think would be really cool is if the Panzerfaust pens, meaning the Ignifist, have a chance to bleed one of the crew members. So say you get a side shot with a Panzerfaust or whatever, and it pens, it would, 1 out of 4, if it goes to 4 people like I want, 1 out of 4, one of them would get a chance to start bleeding inside the tank. That way, you're not necessarily disrupting the full tank crew. They would have to scramble to, like, say you got the driver and the driver bled out, then the tank stops, and then you have to have someone swap into the driver's seat, or maybe you bleed the gunner, and then that makes you watch and be more, mindful. If, you're pushing up, you're not really scared right now of an Ignifist unless you get tracked on a really low % chance. But maybe if you get shot with the Ignifist then and you have bleed, like, oh shit, I gotta pull back, I gotta get heals on my guy, or at least you're having one of your tank crew now have to carry the medical kit, the Band-Aid kit. I think that's another thing that could be added. And then I lied. This is the last one.
I'm not opposed to anything that makes the Ignifist more better, and maybe a little bit less bounce to it.
Well, and
I feel like I just bounce every shot. But.
Truls, thank you for the hydrate. Come on, man. Hey, Andy. What about Molotovs getting added for infantry gameplay?
I dig it. I'm not opposed to some small scale burning of the folk. We got it with the rockets, so why not condense it into bottle form?
Well, I just, and I wouldn't want it to necessarily be a colonial only, but again, I just look at things in a World War II stance. Like, Molotovs were a big, widely used things in cities. That's a real thing that was used on vehicles, on buildings, on, whatever, people. Like, it's a very cheap producible weapon. I gotta shut my door. My brother's streaming his stupid.
Streaming household.
You know, yeah. My brother's a streamer on. He plays GTA RP, but he plays on Kick, or streams on Kick. But he gets so into it, dude. You'll start hearing, "Sir, pull over, sir." He's a cop in that thing, and I'm like, dude, you're such a dork.
GTA RP is next.
I've never played it, but it's kind of interesting. Either way, kind of getting back. I just think Molotovs would be cool. My boy, I won't take credit for this idea either. I had one of my boys from Bone Regiment, Hazy. He's like, man, I think it'd be cool to get a Molotov, you know, have a hexagon full of, you know, wardens or collie, or he wants it to be a collie only thing. I'm not opposed to it being both sides, but, you know, a trench full of people, you know, I agree. I think it'd be a both sides thing. But, you know, you have a trench full of people just huddled together, and then a big old yeet, dude. You just see a bunch of burning little scrambling roaches, you know. I think that'd be really cool.
I got more flamethrowers. I think it added flamethrowers, so yeah, sure. Why not add more fire-based weaponry?
Well, and, you know, again, you know, I think Molotov rushes would be not really... I think it'd be better as an anti-personnel type equipment based. It could be anti-structure, but I think it should take a lot of Molotovs, because like Molotovs could smoke out vehicles and like burn vehicles over time, but like it would take a lot of Molotovs to catch a building on fire, you know, especially if people are trying to like put it out with water. I think it would take, you know, and the devs could do all this. I'm just spitballing ideas. And again, this whole idea of the podcast is to spitball ideas to the devs and just talk about in-game stuff in a pretty balanced place. So, you know, I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. Yeah, go for it.
Got another random thing that popped in my head that'll benefit both teams. So as somebody, I do a lot of running, and it's sometimes a crazy amount. Maybe if we could like make bicycles or something, or just add more. They're randomly generated.
Okay, I love that idea.
Maybe make them less. Like so like you can, if you're on a road with a bicycle and you hit a tank, the tank stops, right? You have that.
That should not happen. The bicycle should just get ran over. It should be like the ran over thing, dude. Yeah, you read my mind, dude. Cause like, dude, if you had like 30 people roll up in bikes, bro, and just completely halt the tank line, like, no. But yeah, nah. I mean, I could.
That's gotta happen.
You know, I'm not opposed to that. I'm definitely not opposed to that. Or maybe be able to just build one, you know, with BMATs.
Yeah, okay.
Just BMAT them right out there.
I can't think of any detriment to it. It'll just help people who have a long way to run.
The only thing I could see...
Maybe your base gets destroyed.
The only thing I could see is it can only be built in friendly controlled areas. I don't think you should be able to build a bike behind enemy lines, because I think that could be very helpful to partisans, just being able to like whip a bike out of nowhere. But I do think a nerf would be if any vehicle hits a bike, that person should nerf the bikes. Hashtag nerf the bikes. But no, I mean it though. You know, like it. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
We joke about it, but truly,
you know.
Yes, we should. That should genuinely be a thing. You should not be able to stop a tank.
Any vehicle at all. Anything with an engine should not be stopped by a bike, dude.
Oh, that's wild. Partisan bike.
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, though, I actually really do enjoy that idea from, like, getting place to place, just running. You know, just make it a 10 BMAT vehicle and make them decay really fast. The only thing I can see being problem with that is a couple things. One, would it run up M sub cost because it counts as a vehicle? So could you, you know, grief someone a friendly's base running their M sub cost up with making 1,000,000 bikes? Two. Well, I guess you could easily solve that. You can only make one every hour. You know, limit it to one an hour. That way, you know, if you're silly and have to keep running over and over and over again, you kind of get punished in that regards. But if you only need the bike once or whenever you're running or whatever, hold on to your bike when you have it. That actually could be really easily dodgeable. Because you know what I'm talking about, where you leave people, like, vehicles in a you're a frontliner, you don't know what I'm talking about. When you have a bunch of vehicles in a facility area, there's an M sub cost to it. It keeps the maintenance on the area and everything in the area. So you can up the cost of someone's M subs just based on the entities so that's why I was saying you could cheese that very bad. So the M sub cost could go, but I just easily solve that. You just make one an hour, and in 24 hours, you could up my M sub cost by 24. If you really wanted to spend 24 hours to troll me for, you know, very little M sub uppage, you know, all right, well, enjoy, brother. I'll pay for those just for you to sit there for 24 hours, whatever.
More power to you.
Dude, that was really good. I think every idea, other than small little niches here and there, I think we're really solid. I think, you know, I'm not getting that much rage in the chat, so I think everyone was pretty okay with it. You know, I think it's pretty good.
That's always a bonus. It's difficult to difficult to please everybody.
100%, and even any of our ideas, you know, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, that's so trash, dude." Like, no, there's someone in there doing it, but that's okay. We try. The next thing I want to ask,
absolutely,
because everyone always faults the devs, and everyone always, you know, I want this change. What do you love?
Bad.
Yeah, of course, dev man, clan man, bad, no question. What do you love and wished got pushed more? Like,
got pushed more.
So what I mean is, what is one aspect of the game that you absolutely love that would happen more often, that doesn't happen enough, or, you know, it does happen but you continue for it to happen? What do you love about the game is what I'm kind of getting at. What do you wished was more of a pushed idea? What do you want kind of the culture of the game? What kind of loves of the culture do you love of the game that you wished were suggested, amplified? You know, what kind of things do you love about Foxhole?
I want to see improved. That's a really good question. Shit. Do you have an answer for that?
I do.
What's yours? And then we'll go with my answer after yours. Gives me time to think.
So the one thing that really sets Foxhole apart, like I said earlier, from anything else is the community. One thing I wish got pushed farther is maybe you could do this in between wars, but make it both factions versus zombie, like the Dead Harvest. I want to see more of a camaraderie between Wardens and Colonials and make it more of a community-based. You know, I know there's a tension of Wardens hate Collies, Collie hates Warden. That's fun. But at the other half, we're all one community loving on one game. We should have times in between wars to really let the community come together and be one community. You know what I mean? Make it instead of a Warden community and a Collie community, let's make it a Foxhole community. Let's make a teal community. Blue and green make teal, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. Make a teal community. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned Dead Harvest?
Yeah.
I've been playing since War '92, and I don't think I've ever gotten to do a Dead Harvest.
And
Have they
that's my
done one?
point.
When's the last time?
They stopped doing it a long time ago, and I think that's something a lot of people are craving is to fight the AI. Like, not even AI. I don't know how it exactly works because I've been in since War 83, and I haven't got to play a Dead Harvest. I want to see
I don't know why they got rid of
more
Heard about it a lot.
community. You know, I want to see a community event. You know, I want to see
They have the
everyone.
fight pit.
What's that?
The fight pit?
Yeah, we get to fight each other with fists instead of guns on a war. Like, like that's the best we can do is
Yeah.
fight pit. You
For
know,
those of you who don't know what we're talking about, at the end of every war, during the resistance period, both teams get together in a hex that has a giant hole in it. What is it? A particular hex?
hold on.
I think it is. I go to the same hex every time, and there's this
So-
just crazy big crater,
Here
and
we go.
there's just a fight club that takes place.
Here's
people-
Fight Club. This is what Fight Club is.
Wow.
It's on the stream right now. This
You're
is
not
Fight
supposed
Club.
to talk about it. We won't talk about it.
Oh, we don't talk about Fight Club? Okay.
Oh, that's what I've heard.
This is what Fight Club is right here. You know, but even then, like, that is a cool time, man. Like,
Pretty
it's
fun.
the community is together, bro. Like, that's cool. That doesn't happen but for 2 days. We need to have more Foxhole, not, you know, anything else community stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm kind of trying to press on here is I want to be sorry. I want to be I want more togetherness. That's what I want, more community driven stuff. And I think it'd be cool for a lore piece, you know, like, or lore stuff that, you know, I might hate the Warden, but I hate the Dead Harvest more, you know, or something like that. You know, that would be
A little bit more community. I get what you're saying.
that's what I love about the game, but I want more of it. I want more community
A little
driven
bit
stuff.
more together.
Yes.
I'm not opposed.
I'm not a Warden
It's,
lover, by the
we're
way.
stuck
I still got my hag flag hung, boys. Call it for light. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know, I get a joke of it, but yeah, 100%. I want to be more together as a community is what I want. I don't want so much hate.
I don't. Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna get it with any game that has two teams to choose from, and it's like you're gonna have diehard loyalists for every team or for either team, and that's allowed. But just I don't know, you can let other people enjoy going back and forth.
Yeah, and
It's not the end of the world.
speaking on that too, you know, I will always be a colonial. I am a loyalist, but I do not hate the Wardens, and I don't hate when my friends go Warden. I don't like. It's a whole other half of the game.
Oh.
It's cool. Like,
Absolutely.
I have to have someone to hate or, you know, fight. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. But that being said, like,
So, like you said, so like people like yourself, you're never going to be a warden. That's allowed. That's fine. I do think it makes you a better Foxhole player at the end of the day to
being on both
to
sides.
play both sides.
Mhm.
They do play differently. They have different weapons,
100%.
different everything, different. Would you be fair to say different playing styles?
Oh yeah. Well, and when they did the
So,
Charlie Shard and stuff, that's when I'd play Warden. Like, I'd go play Warden on Charlie because I get to play with, like, some of the stuff that I never get to play with. And to be fair, I only did that like 2 or 3 wars, but you know, I'm a loyalist to the Colonials, not for any reason other than A, I'm a regiment leader, but B, I truthfully just like playing, like, I like the LARP of playing one side. That's the trueness of it, you know, and you can call that lame, anyone in here, but LARPing is cool, you know.
That's
Paul,
something we were talking about.
not a good enough reason,
sweet.
soldier.
Oh
See, that's cool, dude. I love that stuff. But yeah, man. I mean, you know, I want to be a collie until I quit playing the game, which hopefully is after death. But uh,
Hell yeah,
um,
rightfully so.
but I don't mock anyone that goes plays warden. In fact, I encourage it. I like the LARP of it, and I like one side. But I encourage people to go play both sides and get opinions about the game and your enjoyment of it. Go get your own opinion on it. That's what I think.
Decide which one you like more.
Exactly. And if you like flopping between
Then
both
you can
sides
pick
or
one
whatever,
instead.
that's cool too. Like when there's a new cool toy that you want to go play with, it's a game. Enjoy it. I don't think we should be this hard stuck on. And collies is the only correct answer. Yeah, that's right. Paul, you crack me up, dude. Sorry for the YouTube.
Spoken like a clone.
You know, you guys. I wish I could get. I need to add something here to where I can get my Twitch chat in here, or link this chat to my Twitch chat so they can see what I'm laughing at. But that's for another time. So whoever's watching the podcast, I'm laughing at a buddy in chat. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I mean, that's what I want more of, is more community, you know, everything we spend off of. And I want people to be more understanding of each other. And that's, again, what I mean by getting the community together is stop this, you know, appreciate it, Onyx. I want to get more of a community together instead of so much division. You know, like I want the chip, you know, the chippiness. I love that. I think that's a good part of the game. But I don't want this real, like, people form real opinions on other people about which side they pick, or, you know, like they start talking like real trash on people, and it's like, it's a video game, dog. Like, we're here to have fun.
I've been in, it's wild. I've been in people's streams, and it's like, oh, I've seen people say, I'll unfollow somebody if they go the other team. It's like, that's what?
That's
wild.
horrible.
It's just all
Yeah.
because of swapping a team. Jesus.
Yeah, it's
But
horrible.
you know, there's some passionate folk out there, and that's allowed. It's just,
Yeah.
I think you're prohibiting yourself from enjoying the full aspect of the game if you're only condensing yourself to one side. You'll never know what it's like to, unless you steal it, but acquire a submarine. Oh, actually, no. The Colonials are getting a submarine. So never
Hell
mind.
yeah! I'm so excited for that, by the way.
It's gonna be an open top submarine. Mark my words.
Open top
Calling it
sub, baby. Hell yeah. Oh, shit, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. You know what it is.
Coming to a town near you. Oh, why not?
Oh, that was so good,
Absolutely.
dude. Absolute money right there, dude.
Oh, no.
I've never heard that
I'm
one.
hip, I know.
Oh, that was good.
Never.
Now it's going to have a
Shocking.
mesh screen door on the inside. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Really.
Or, guys, come on. It's going to be equipped with Boma Stone launching torpedoes, dude. It's going to shoot Boma Stones. Yeah, it's going to be OP.
Opposed to that.
Get ready to get cast out of the collie sub. Lock the windows.
Oh my God.
It's
That's
good times.
wild. I saw a clip of somebody. A submarine was going over an overpass, and they dropped down into the sub, and they started killing everybody in the sub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's sick. That's some commando shit right there. We're going to drop on this bridge into the sub, dude. We're going to go wipe them out. Like, that's hardcore, dude.
What are the odds of that? That was beautiful.
That was awesome. I mean, so, you know,
Type of game.
yeah, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper right now. I forgot I had this been in my room for like a week, but I'm thankful it's here. My tea's not made yet. So, I drink tea like crazy. Sweet tea is my...
What type of tea we talking?
Louisiana sweet tea. I put
Sweet.
it. Yeah, sweet tea, 100%. But I don't go like Southern sweet tea with like 5 gallons of sugar or 5 pounds of sugar per gallon. You know, I hate that shit. But you know,
I put a lot of sugar in my tea.
I mean, it
Too
ain't
much.
bad. You
I
know.
went to London and I was putting a bunch of sugar in my tea, and I had somebody come up to me and express concern about the amount that I was putting in. So if British people are coming up to me expressing concern about my tea habits, might be an issue.
Man, they don't know shit about tea. No, I just pissed off so many fucking British people. The reason I said that is my buddy Digital in chat. He's from London and stuff, England, and he's gonna what the. I can just hear him raging now. So that was for you, Onyx. So I guess we can move on to the next question, or did you have an answer for that? You know what you want pushed more?
Shit. Oh yeah. I had to think about that. Something I love about the game that I would love pushed more.
We can come back to if you wanna sit on that.
Genuinely a good question. I was not. It was too good of a question. I was not prepared.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. So, in the end here, because we got about another 20 minutes for usually cutoff time. There's no cutoff time, by the way. It's just we're getting near.
Okay.
Oh, I got answers. Do you, Paul? You know, just any ending notes, anything that you want to say to the devs, right now, or to the chat or to the podcast, because this is going to go on my YouTube. If you want something said that you think anything about the game or game related, that's kind of the ending convos I like to kind of end on my stream or podcast.
Absolutely. As somebody who normally plays Colonial, it did make me a bit sad that they nerfed that Bomber Stone, and I feel like I complain about it almost every stream. That just going from 150 to 125, it hurt. As somebody who likes to throw Bomber Stones.
If I can jump in on that, here's the deal.
Absolutely, please.
And I at one half, I understand it because, like, I've played with Harpas and they're fine. And, everyone always says, they get the grenade launcher on the end of their rifle. And it's like, yeah, the benefit of the Boma is we don't have to have an extra piece. It's good range and you can cook it. The Harpa's good. It's a great nade. It hits a lot harder than anyone gives it credit for, and I think it's a great nade. The thing is that the benefit is the Warden.
That's the Colonial Warden grenade.
Yeah, Harpa hits like a truck. It hits way harder, and if you put it in the trench where someone's sitting, it's an instant kill. Like, the thing is, the benefit of the Boma, when they nerf the damage, that's not the real benefit of the Boma. The Boma's benefit is the bleed because it's shrapnel and it's distance, So I can understand the nerf. What bugs me so about it, though, is that's one of the oldest things in the game that is now getting changed. And that was kind of our backbone. And something that I really want to say in this stream, because I've been thinking about this a lot on my bus route, is the Wardens have an identity and an answer to every one of its problems. The Colonials lack identity and lack our fallback, because the Wardens fall back to concrete and armor. What do the Colonials fall back to? What's our bread and butter play? What's our, if we're getting our teeth kicked in, what do we need to make to start equalizing or winning? And I feel like we just don't have an identity. We're not the best in armor. We're not the best in arty. We're not the best in, like the Wardens in I want to call it eology, but it's not it. lore. And the lore of and Wardens are the heavy defense, heavy tank faction, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be the assaulters from the south. We're supposed to be the heavy hitter, horde, hit them hard, hit them fast, all gas, no brakes. That's the collies. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we are losing our identity, and the Wardens are getting a stronger identity in their armor and in their defensive pieces that they're getting. And I mean, it really just shows. And I try to be the most unbiased I can in this game, and I really find it hard to find anyone that disagrees with me. Like, the super heavy tanks on both teams, it's a joke. Like, the Ares compared to the Cullen Predator, that's supposed to be our piece, That's supposed to be the coup de la grace, the piece, the piece de resistance, the coup de grace, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's supposed to be the creme de la creme. Yeah, dude, you know what I'm saying? I like that, boy. That's supposed to be the creme de la creme, though, baby. That's supposed to be the piece, and in theory, it's cool, but in all actuality, like, the Ares gets smashed, like, time and time again. And not even just say that the Ares needs a buff, but like, lore wise, the Ares was a dominant, like, scary thing, and in game it's like a piece of shit, to be honest. Like, I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is, man. I mean, and like I said, like, I just feel like the collies don't have an identity right now. We're not fast. We don't hit hard. We're not, in and out, being able to be super speedy. The queues and the servers don't allow us to be a horde faction. So where is our identity lie? And that's something I really, I love Foxhole, and I think the devs do a better job than people give them credit for. But that's something I feel like really needs to get addressed, is we don't have an identity as the colonials. And that's not me being like, this is overpowered, or this is, or X, Y. Like, that's just a general overhaul of the entire game. Is you are seeing one side get very developed, very well-rounded, and playing to their strengths, while one side is missing massive pieces, getting the short end of the stick on a lot of things, and is not getting an identity. But that's the problem, Paul, is like, that's the thing that's sad about it is, a lot of us feel like that. And that's not the way we should feel about the game we love. I'm not asking for a massive balance switch. There's gotta be some truth. Well, yeah. And again, I'm not meaning to keep talking here, but, I just want that hammered home. A lot of us feel the same pain, and I think this is where, as a community, we can come together. And I think, as, a warden viewing this, I want you to understand that I'm not coming at it out of anger. I'm coming out of it as, I want to enjoy this game. I want you to have your strengths, and I want you to beat my ass in certain ways, but I want my strengths too, and I want to beat your ass in certain ways, and I want it to be a competitive thing. I really don't like this. This is overpowered. It's asymmetrical gaming. There are things that are going to be busted on the other team. Paul, shut the fuck up. Such a goober, dude. But I do feel like, as a colonial, truthfully speaking, I feel like we're kind of underwhelming right now. And I feel like a while ago, I would be crazy to say that when we had the Stygian Bolt. I think this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. When we had the Stygian Bolt and we had 6 wars with it, where they had no 94.5, they are saying the same things we're saying now. We don't want to be overpowered. We just want to be balanced. And I truthfully, guys, if I'm going to say it now too, and JRAYE made a great point and brought some light to my attention, the devs have said they're going to be making a lot of balancing changes, but to be fair, and I hate when people say this update has to be the update. They've only grown in every update. Now, player retention gets smaller, whatever. We're growing as a community. But to keep better player retention and address burnout, balance has to be your number one priority, and I hope that's what the devs are doing. I've been talking a long time, so I want you to hammer in on, what you think.
I feel like Foxhole is an interesting anomaly. There's like 100,000 people that follow it on Twitch, and yet there's not that many people that stream it. It's a wild thing. But there's a good player base, and when we get a huge update, it goes up to like 6,000, 5,000. Oh my god, the game is so much better when there's like 5,000 people playing. Oh my, it's truly like a night and day. Like you can log in and every front is active. Oh my god, that's when the game is at its peak. But so another thing that I would like, maybe a little bit more a little bit more response from the developers. Be like, hey guys, we're working on this, just like a little bit, because as of this recording, it's been a hot minute since we've gotten an update. So I'm running into a lot of folk that are experiencing fatigue. It's like it's not a lot of incentive to hang around at the moment. But allegedly, I think the next update should be within the next month or so. So we should have something to look forward to sooner rather than later. Hopefully. What do you feel about that?
I mean, just to give people point of reference as of this recording, the last major update, I want to pull up a date before I say something wrong, but Foxhole Naval update.
Not to say that they're not busy, because they're also working on Anvil.
I don't think it's that they're not busy. I just don't think they communicate it to us very well. So the last update was October 26th of last year. That was when Naval dropped.
Damn.
That was the last piece of content we've gotten. Besides the Spatha getting their reload change and the hotfix, the last actual development, drop of content was October 26th of last year.
So do you know how big of a team they are?
I don't know the exact
team.
numbers. I think it's, maybe less than 20. I would assume.
That sounds about, I would imagine. I can't be more than. I'd be shocked if it was more than 20. Be shocked if it was more than 15.
And Paul, like what you're saying, I'm fine. I'm fine with the no major content being dropped, but 20-ish people, 10-ish developers, and 3D artists. Thank you, Veered.
Okay.
Good.
That
Thank you.
sense.
I'm okay with no more active development. I don't want airplanes to drop right now, but I think something they could kind of model themselves towards is that is for both Foxhole and Anvil. So you're talking 10 devs per side, or that's 5 devs a side plus
Airplanes for Foxhole 2.
Yeah.
That's when we upgrade the engine as well. Go from Unreal 4
to be announced in roughly a month. So technically, that's them just announcing, not actually pushing out the update. So it might be longer than a month till we get the second part of Naval. Again, I don't need a major update. Yeah, a better server could be huge. I don't think we need more stuff. I think we need more balances. and maybe fill holes. And when I mean no more stuff, I mean no more major, like don't add a hole, don't add air. And I think that's the next thing everyone's leaning for is Air Force. You know, everyone, you know, we got the ground, armor, naval. Next thing is air. That's guaranteed. Like everyone says, it's not possible. Da, da, da. Fill the holes we have. I really wanted to pull up a clip from I Saw a Bear, but I don't know how to give him credit on the YouTube video. I just post the raw, everything we've done in this will be posted. I don't know how to give credit to I Saw a Bear, and I don't have permission from him. But I'm going to explain it. I'm not going to explain it. I just said what I want is a balance of all the holes on both teams. And I think the rock, paper, scissors for a game balance is not the correct way to go. I think both sides should have an answer to everything, whether it's the strong version or the weak version of that, whether it's completely different way of tackling an obstacle. Like, you know, if the Warden's, just to give an example, if the Warden's way of dealing with tanks is flasks and ATRs, we should have, you know, and again, this is an example, we should have earlier RPGs and, again, with JRAYE's idea, a grenade launcher AT. That's our way of tackling said problem. I want every side and everything to have a way to tackle it. That way it's not an equipment issue, and I feel like that's, if it's a true, also I hate the word skill issue because there's thousands of people playing, and if you're going to call everyone a skill issue on doubt, like, statistically that doesn't even make sense. But
skill issues.
You know, you're not wrong, but there needs to be a balance, and I think everyone's yearning for it. And again, just fill those holes, man. Those holes, and everyone, I can't say it, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. And if you don't play the game more, you'll know what I'm talking about. Someone with skill issue denying skill issue. Hey, man. Accuracy by volume, baby. Katara. That's all I need, baby.
Spray and pray.
Hey, I don't need to be accurate. I just need to have more bullets. That's all I need.
Whatever gets the kills.
But, you know, again, I think we're all on the same kind of ordeal, and I hope everyone's hearing the message that I'm trying to get out and what JRAYE said, man. I mean, we're not wanting one-sided wars. I don't want to play Helldivers when I play Foxhole. I want a good competitor, but I also want to feel like I have a chance with the equipment I have, much like I want them to have the same chance against me.
I think we'll have a better retention rate. Next time another war starts, we'll have a couple thousand folk, and I think they'll actually hang around.
Yeah, I mean, and we didn't even talk about, I mean, me and Veered talked about it in the last podcast, but, you know, I've heard you touch up on it is, you know, I think if you fix balance, burnout becomes less. I think if people saw their good works amount to something, it would make them want to do those works more often. But when you scroop for 10 hours, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to expand upon that, making certain gameplay mechanics more interesting, like the scrooping, or like the logistics. Those are, we were talking about that before, stupid integral to the game. You're not winning wars without good logistics, and that gameplay loop leaves a little bit to be desired.
Love your Logi and love your builders. That's something we didn't even talk about is frontline builders need love. Please, devs,
Absolutely.
For my birthday, please add a CV variant that's an excavator that I can build 5 times faster, or dig 5 times faster than I can right now. Let me dig out a base with that, please. Please, mama. I want the excavator in the game. All jokes aside, that is serious one. I want an excavator really bad.
For real?
I think building needs some love. I think all the holes need to be filled from this point on from the devs, and I think all of us agree on that. And I think also, like with this podcast and what JRAYE said, devs need to be more vocal to us and talk to us and give consistent updates and talk about what they think and what they see. And also, I'm sorry, I'm drinking that Dr. Pepper, made me burp, trying to hold it back. With that being said, like, listen to the community, listen to these podcasts, listen to your people, because we're all passionate about the game. You know, I know everyone in my chat right now that I'm seeing at least has 500 hours, if not more. Trounsy's in here. He's a streamer. You know, you have 2,000 hours. I'm at 1,500. Like, we all play the game. We love the game. Listen to your communication, man. Communication, devs, if you are listening to this, which I don't know if I even got the attention with this podcast of them yet or not, listen to us, man, because we're not trying to just make it a fun for one side. We're trying to make it a balanced environment. We're trying to help. We want to love, you know what I mean? 2K hours. That's it. I remember when I drank chai. That's so silly.
600 in less than a year. That's awesome. It's an addictive game. It truly it sucks up a lot of your time. it's a lot if you let it. I'm over 2,000 hours in, and I'm still learning stuff. Like, truly, at least once a stream, somebody will stop by and tell me something I had no idea about. There are so many aspects.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this now. I'm at 1,500 hours, and I've only played Colonial, and I didn't know the Hydra's Whisper could blow up mines. Did you know that?
There you go. Learn something new every day. No.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Hydra's Whispers, when there's a minefield, instead of going and wrenching them, just go lay Hydra's Whispers. They can blow up to 8 per Hydra's Whisper. Now you know. You're welcome. Cool. You're welcome.
I
didn't know that either till the other day. And I have a lot of hours in tanking and doing all that shit. And yeah.
There are so many aspects of it.
What's grass look like, folks? Yeah, and you know, this is also the time in the ending notes, unless you have any other ideas, JRAYE, that you want to present. You know, if you guys got stuff in the chat, I'd love to add it in the podcast. You know, I want to start getting, as long as it's okay, I don't want to take any JRAYE's time from him. If you guys have suggestions as well, I think this is what this is for, guys, is, you know, you guys obviously care enough about either me, JRAYE, or the game enough, or the podcast to be in here. You know, we want to hear you guys too, and the devs, I hope they want to hear you too. You know, so if you guys have something that maybe I said or JRAYE said that you want to note on or anything, I mean, we still got time, and I'd love to hear you guys. And yeah, man, I mean, again, devs, we love your game. We're not trashing on it. We want it to be better. I think that's the biggest thing I can say.
Yeah, same. I want nothing but good things for it. Hopefully, it
Brigger
continues to grow and prosper.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, we differ on some things, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, a lot of us agree with things. Just thoughts and prayers out to Mark Foot and Julian. May they find the strength to quit smoking that. Dude, shut up. Oh my god, dude, relax, Troudsy. Holy.
See that name? Trounsy, you're very good. I see you in the highlights a lot. You murder people.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. Really good friend of mine. My man. I stole that from him. He says that all the time. My man.
I'm always blown away whenever I see you in the highlights. It's like, dude, this dude knows how to fucking kill people.
Oh, dude. Truly. He's got that froogie. That froogie. He's got that. He's like Scandinavian. The Scandi. He's got that. Ewodas. He's a champ.
Got the skills to pay the bill.
Oh yeah.
What I'm trying to say.
Well, you just got another fan in here, Trounsy. Apparently, JRAYE. He loves you. So.
Big fan.
I'm hoping we get in an update soon. People will come back and be excited about the game. We can have some high pop wars. He said it already,
We were
man. I
saying that
agree.
earlier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The wars feel, when an update war is happening, that is like the first of the wipe in Tarkov, man. It's creme de la creme.
Oh,
B mats are
Honestly, I
pumping,
love early
front
war.
lines are hopping, like the mammon rushes get up to like 50 sizes, so it's like really crazy. Like, oh.
I think early war is my favorite time. It's just the mammon rushes are so much fun, and then just there's so few things to kill you. You don't have to worry about artillery. You don't have to worry about gas. You don't have to worry about tanks.
Well, to get there,
So few things that
Trounsy,
want to kill you.
I think to get there, and again, I think that's what we're all saying. We don't need new content. We need, well, take that back. We need balanced content. Fill the holes. And I think player retention would be there. And then I think from every new update from there on, they need to really consider all angles of when an update comes in. Like, really start to analyze, like, how is this going to be abused? How is this going to be implemented? Like, and again, he's not wrong there either. Like, even with new wars, you have to open up Charlie Shard because the servers can't handle it. And it's like, that's also something we really got to consider. Death timers at 50 seconds need to be addressed. I don't think you should ever have a death timer above 30. I mean, 30 is even high. 20 seconds is the perfect death. Like
50 seconds. That's a long time to sit
I
there and do
scroll
nothing,
through
man.
my phone,
That's-
dude. I watch a full YouTube video sometimes. If Artie's coming down, I watch a full YouTube video sometimes, man. Like,
If you're a new
oh.
player, you spent $30 and you get in, you're sitting there, you're queued, and then that happens to you. It's like, oh my god, that's detrimental to the gaming experience. Oh, it's rough. I feel like they kept Charlie for too long last time. It was detrimental. They should have
Well,
gotten rid of it. It wasn't.
And when they dropped Charlie in last war too, it was crazy how the collies were gas pedal down, and as soon as they dropped Charlie Shard, it was like an immediate backlash, dude. Like, it was immediate. You could tell as soon as they killed it because you saw all the wardens come out of the woodworks, and it was like, holy mother of Lord. It's wild.
This is where we're all hiding.
Yeah. What rock were you all hiding under? Either way, I mean, again, I've said my piece this week, JRAYE. If you have anything else, I think this is a good spot to just drop the podcast. If you have anything else, just kind of ending notes. Anyone in chat, this is your time. If not, I think this is a good spot to have chapter 2 of the podcast, of the Boneyard.
Hell yeah. Thank you for having me, man. It was an awesome discussion. I feel
Hey,
like we got some gold. That pump grenade launcher. I
Yeah.
want that.
Little China Lake, dude, that'd be sick, man. And I don't think it'd be, again, it would be a benefit to just collies, but it would also, you would allow access of the Tremola to go to the warden, and again, there's a million different ways to skin the cat, and this is the devs game. We're just giving suggestions or whatever, but I hope they hear us. But also, JRAYE, it was a pleasure having you guys. Trounsy, Paul, all you guys, Dr. Band-Aid, Virid, all you guys. I do really appreciate you coming in here. And if you guys could, please go give a like and a follow on the YouTube channel. That's where I'll be posting all the podcasts from here on out. And it'll immediately be going up after the podcast stops. But again, thank you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I had a good time. See you guys.